Once again, we pause in our schedule to let God speak to us, set our course and our direction to listen to Him, because He has much to say to us, and we give Him very little respect and time. And it's time for us to really realize who He is and who we are in Him. It's amazing how that we can find so much time for things which are of little value. But things which are of greater value, we seemingly set them aside and just push them down the road, saying later. But later never comes. So we want to just take time, set everything aside, put your plan for the day, forget it for just a while, and let God speak to us. I want us to go back to the very beginning of time, as far as we know it. Time, who knows when it began? We don't know. But the scriptures tell us in the beginning. So this is a marking of time for us. Obviously, God was there before, but as far as our understanding is concerned, scripture says in the beginning, God. And so from the very beginning, the first thought we have is of God, not other things. There was not movie stars, there were not TVs, there were not phones, there were not cars. None of this was there. It was nothing. But in the beginning, it says God created heaven and earth. Now we read this, and to us it's a couple of seconds, perhaps, a few seconds. We read it. In the beginning, God created heaven and earth. Finished. But stop. How long do you think it took to create heaven and earth? I think we're beginning to see earth, especially, in a different realm than before. We have seen the heavens differently because we see the stars, we see the moon, we see the planets, we see all these things out there in the heavens. We can see the integrity of all these things and their effect. The sun, the moon, okay, we see that. But in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. And so we look at the earth. Let's look there first. Not because it's the first that was created, but let's look at it. The earth. We're beginning to see the earth in a totally different pattern than we had before. All of a sudden, scientists are telling us there's all these plates and all these things that are in the earth that are put together, and they're moving and they're fixed so that they are flexible to a degree. A lot of intricate things. Probably like me, when you read this, you say, in the beginning God created the heaven and earth. You just say, let there be heaven, let there be earth, finished. I don't believe so. I believe the integrity of God, putting things together in such a way wherein they have lasted for how many generations, how many years, and they're still here. They haven't fallen apart. You know, we have people that tell us, oh, they can build this and build that, and we watch them build it, and especially here in the last few weeks, bridges falling apart, all these things falling apart, and we realize man hasn't done very well. But what God put together is still here. I don't know that any of it is missing. It's here. The heavens and the earth. They're still here. The things that God put together, awesome. And what we do is we cut in the beginning, God. The word here is God. And yet that word has such a meaning to it. If only we would stop and think for a minute. It conveys creative power. Look what he did. Creative power, authority, sovereignty. He would command all these things to come together. Unique. He didn't have a DPWH to work with. He didn't have machines, equipment. He spoke the word, and it began to fall into place, to come together. The earth in its uniqueness, all of it really different. He created the heavens and the earth. The earth was without form, was void. Darkness was over everything. And yet, God's Spirit was moving over the waters. Something was going on. So we see this vast picture of basically nothing, formless, void, no order, nothing. Water was everywhere. But the Spirit of God was over all of this. It was as though, in my mind, I've been seeing this as the Spirit is going back and forth across this. What are we going to do with this? How can we handle this? This is simple. I understand that. But we have avoided talking about this. We haven't spent time in this, and so therefore we've missed the greatness of this creation. This is awesome. Has anyone else done anything like this ever? No. First, God says, let there be light. There was darkness everywhere. But the first thing he did, let there be light. Now, for us, in our lives, we don't do well in the dark. We have to have lights. When we get up the first thing in the morning, one of the first things that happens is we turn on lights. We want to see. But God was dealing in the dark. The Spirit was dealing with darkness. One of the first things he says is, let there be light. And there was light. Now it doesn't tell us where the light came from, but there was light. All of a sudden, there was light. God called the light day, and he separated it from the darkness. So there was light and darkness from the very beginning. Can you do this? Can I do this? No. We have to have lights. We have to have shades. We have to have all these things to help us. God just spoke. Have we really stopped to think about all of this that God did? The awesomeness of the creation. How that he divided the light, the night, and today. Here we see just words given to us in Scripture. And we read them, and that's about all we do. We don't stop to analyze them, to think, to realize what a massive task this was. Water was everywhere. He separated the water. In the midst of the water, he put earth. He called it land. So all around us now is water. Recently, scientists have found out that deep down underneath the earth, there's massive amounts of water still. How come we have such a problem with water? How come our water companies can't come up with enough water to keep things the way they're supposed to be? God had plenty. It was in the middle of nowhere, I would guess. And it's still there. See, he says, let there be an expanse in the midst of the waters, and let it separate the waters from the waters. So the waters were separated. In the midst of it, he put land, earth. It's amazing. You stop and think of these things. How awesome. This huge thing that we call earth. Did he pick it up? Did he place it here? How is it sitting here? What's holding it here that it doesn't fall? If it's on the water, is it floating on the water? Or is the water mixed in with it? No, we have so many things. Scientists comes up with all these things, but after a while they realize, oh, we don't understand that. We don't realize what this is, and so they have to change what they think. But look at the greatness of God here. He called the dry land earth, the gathering of the waters he called seas, and God saw that it was good. It was good. He separated the land and the water. He made the earth, the sea, he saw that it was good. It's amazing. Within all of this, he has built that which is still in existence this day, still holding together. Sometimes we wonder, when we have the earthquakes, the volcanoes, and the storms, and all of these things, is it all going to fall apart? It doesn't. It doesn't. Because he put it together. And it's holding itself together. Let the water under the sky be gathered together in one place, and let the dry land appear. God called the day, called the dry and the earth, and the gathering of the waters he called seas. So he had names that he used to identify these different things. And as we look at them today, there seems to be a pattern. All these things are together. And sometimes we wonder how secure they are, but yet they're still there. God put within the earth all that the earth would need. It's a good goes. He said, let the earth sprout vegetation, plants, yielding seed, fruit trees, bearing fruit after their own kind, with seed in them on the earth, and so it was. So now he did not just build, put together in creation, the land and the sea, but then he began to cause it to be productive. The seeds, the plants, the fruit, All these things, vegetables, these things coming forth out of the earth having the ability not just to be earth, but the potential of nourishment, ability. He had there so that we would be taken care of. All of this he did before he created man. He didn't create man right away. He put all of this together in its perfection first. He was creating a place for his creation, man. Put it all together. It took time. Within the earth, the vegetables, the fruit, all of this. He said that there be lights in the expanse of the heavens to separate day from night. Let them be for signs, for seasons, for years, for days, and for years. And so all these things he put together and he programmed them to function. The light comes on in the morning, shines through the day, and it dies down at night, and darkness takes in for the night, so that there is time for rest and time for work. The sun created this awesome thing. He created and he separated it. Two great lights, the sun and the moon, and the power and the ability within them. And we talk about this, but we don't think about it. If you're going to build a house, one of the first things you have to do, of course, is to get a piece of land. So you have to make sure your paperwork on that land is clear, it's yours. Then you have to get somebody to help you make plans. You draw out the plans and you take them to the office where it's possible to get the permission to approve your plans, and now you can begin to build. Then you find a contractor. You get the contractor to get all the equipment and the materials that are needed. Then he gets a carpenter, and he gets a plumber, he gets an electrician, he gets all these people with these expertise to do this work. God did it all. He had such power and ability, potential. He was creative. He could put within the earth all the nourishments that are needed to cause the grass to grow, the flowers to grow, the fruit, all these. He understood how to do this. He didn't have somebody that he could call or bring in to do the job. He did it himself. How awesome. And everything that he put together has lasted perfection. Whether it was timed, I don't know. But whatever it was put together, it functioned. We have to go get people who have been trained in the specifics to help us do all these things. And in our world today, we've come up with this scheme, this plan, wherein if you have gone to the university and you've studied this particular situation that you can be involved in, then you get a special title. And you have that title to which you put on all your letterhead or your office or whatever. God had one name, God. God. He knew everything. He had such ability, such potential. Do we give him this credit? Do we give him this understanding? This is who he is. How awesome. He can put all of this together. We read this one chapter very quickly. We come to the end, and on the seventh day he evaluated it. Very good. That's like the inspector who comes to the building after it's been built and evaluates it to the best of his ability to see if it'll last. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But what God has created for generations, can we comprehend that? Can we begin to realize who he is? In fact, you can trust him. You can't trust man. Man changes his ways. He does things half-heartedly sometimes. But God doesn't. What he has done has lasted for how many generations? I don't know. It has a time limit, yes, it is set. But still, all this he put together. Let the earth bring forth grapes, seeds, producing plants, trees producing fruit, seeds bringing forth fruit. All this he was able to put together. Man can't create these things, but he could speak and bring them forth. And in such a power of ability that it would last all this time. And the fruit, delicious, nutrients, the energy within them, the power within them that causes our bodies to be strong. All this he did. Nobody going to the university to learn all this. He knew it all. The fullness of it, he understood. He, with an distinguishing title, representing a concept of divine function, character of God, the deity. But do we give him that credit? Without him, none of this would be. Nothing exists that did not come from him. But do we give him that credit, that credibility? Do we have that set in our hearts and our minds, respecting him for what he's done and realizing you can trust him? He's awesome. He will not fail. We come up with all these special titles. The bigger the title, the patriarchate, the pneumatology, all these things we come up with. He says God. God. 3 letters. He didn't need to go to a university. He didn't need to have a fancy title. He has all things under control. This is the beauty of God. This is the thing that we need to stop every once in a while and begin to recognize. And that's what I wanted to do today. Different, yes, but causing us to become aware of who he is and what he has done. He spoke, these things took place. When we speak, we have a fight. We hurt somebody's feelings. We cause a problem. What he did was positive. He created beauty, created that which was everlasting. He has a plan, yes. But I'm looking only at the creation here. Because I don't think we understand this. I don't think this took place in a day. I don't think it took place in a week. maybe years to put it all together. I don't know. They don't give us a time. They don't know. They can't say what they don't know. Nobody was around during that. But whatever it was awesome. And it should be that in our minds and in our heart, we are honoring him for what he's done. Not just taking it for granted, not destroying it, getting rid of it, but taking care of what he's done. It's all lasted this long. Let us not be the ones to destroy it. Giving honor and praise to him. He placed the light, the sun, still there. The moon, the stars, all of them have a part in causing this earth to function properly. All has understanding. Scientists are beginning to realize that the placement of the stars, the sun, the moon, has some effect upon the earth. Things that happen upon the earth. They're saying now the position of the sun is causing all the earthquakes. I don't know. But it could be. Whatever it is, God did this how many years ago? How many generations ago? And it's still here. And so I want us to have a different attitude toward him. Not just a casual thing. Oh yeah, God. No. Awesome. Great. Majestic. This is who he is. His love for us is more than enough. He doesn't fail. He doesn't forsake. He takes care of us. He has created everything. Man tries to duplicate, tries to gain attention, getting recognition. Man can't do what God did. Man can do a lot of things. But what God has done is far greater and deserves our respect and our honor to him. In the beginning, God created. Nobody else. Yes, Trinity was with him. But they were all God. They were the ones that did it. And we give honor and praise. He set the course. It still functions today. The sun, perfect in its function. The moon, the stars, all of them functioning the way God intended them to function. We give him all the praise and the honor. And so I want to call that to your attention. Make sure you don't forget how good God is. Trust him. Trust him. You can trust someone who can put together something like this and it still functions. If we do it, it falls apart. No. What he's done is forever. Put your trust in him. Put your confidence in him. He won't fail you. He has a reputation that gives strength and peace to us and joy. Be blessed in him and let your life this week reflect how great your God is. Give him the praise. Amen.